Hello and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be resealing this aquarium. I've never done it before, so I'm learning, we can learn together, and let's give it a go. So this was going to be the 4-foot aquarium build, but after closer inspection the silicone on this is no good, so I'm going to have to reseal it. So what we're going to do is I ordered this HA6 marine grade RTV silicone sealant, translucent. I've never used this. Got this too. Bought them, well, I bought that on eBay. I can put the link for that in the description. This is from B&M. It was £2.49 bargain. B&M's a UK discount store, if you don't know. Got masking tape, I've got a cloth and razor blades, and yeah, I'm just going to follow a video that I watched by King of DIY, Joey. We'll see how it turns out. Might leak, might not. I've got my cloth. You're also supposed to use isopropyl alcohol with this. I haven't got any isopropyl alcohol. I don't drink, so I don't have any vodka or anything, so I'm just going to use window cleaner and hope for the best. In this video as well, I'm also going to paint the back of the aquarium black again. So I'm going to do that first, and then that can be drying whilst I'm doing the rest of it. So to redo the black, I have got this Dulux Rich Black Matte, and basically these are little testers, but they come with a little roller already on it. You just squeeze it out and roll it on. I thought that would be easier than using a brush, and it will just get it done quickly. So I'm trying that for the first time today as well. Right, that's the back of the tank painted. I've just got my fan on it here, drying it off. And now we can turn it back up the right way, and I'll show you how bad the sealing is. Okay, so this is the inside. It's not a great sealing at all. Don't know if you can see that properly. It's very bulky and lots of bubbles in it. Just generally needs replacing really. This bit here, you'll see if you can lift it up like that, then if I can lift it up, so can the water. So that's not good. As I said, I did get this tank completely free. It's a bit of glass missing at the top there, but these things don't bother me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you back on the tripod and show you the technique. Okay, so I've got my razor blade, and what you want to do is you want to cut into it. So where the glass at the back goes across, you want to cut into it that way, because you don't want to cut the seal holding the glass together. You just want to cut up to that. Like I say, I've never done this. Could go horribly wrong. Not even sure that my razor's sharp enough. Here's hoping that it works. Okay, so push it down like that. We're going all the way behind, right to the glass. Do the same going down this way, but just being careful not to cut the seal that's holding the glass together. In theory, this piece of silicone should now just peel off. I mean, it half worked. Any more? It sort of pulls off. Pulls off in pieces. It would appear that I'm not very good at it. My first tip would be get really sharp, brand new razor blades, because mine are not. And it turns out, if you don't have really sharp new razor blades, it's not easy. I'd also suggest getting the razor blades that are one-sided, so that you've got something to hold on to. This is one-sided, but these bits are really sharp, so it digs into your fingers. So yeah, basically you want to go along, scraping underneath and down from the top. So if you see here, this is where the end of that glass ends, and then this one joins it. So between that is silicone, and you don't want to take that silicone off, because if you do, the glass will fall apart. So we just want to reseal it. We don't want to take it apart. So if you always go with the blade into the back piece of glass, because that's not where the sealant is. The sealant is this way. Now, it may not look like anything's coming off, but that's because a lot of this sealant is also on the outside of this aquarium. Look. Ooh, that's quite satisfying, actually. Yeah. So there is quite a bit here on the outside and in the corners. If you push it right down there, then right across here, then across there at the bottom, and then across there, the corner will just come out. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to pick at it because I haven't got sharp razor blades. I wasn't planning on actually doing this. This was supposed to be a tank build video, but I didn't realise how bad the sealing on this tank was, so I've had to redo it. So if you cut the corners 4 ways, so down the sides, underneath, that way and that way, then the corner just pops out, and that's the corner nice and clean then, ready for resealing. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of this off camera, and I'll bring you back when it's time for the next stage. Just a pro tip, if you're one of the clumsiest people in the world like me, then don't put your glass lids on the floor whilst you're resealing your aquarium, because this happens. And then forever I'm now going to walk around and get glass in my feet. Put it somewhere safe, don't be clumsy like me. I'll always do my best to be honest with you guys. There's no point in me hiding it, it's not going to get me anywhere. We are learning here together. It's not going as easy as I thought. I need sharper razor blades, otherwise it's going to take me forever. The techniques that I've shown do work, but the execution is poor. So yeah, I need to get some better razor blades, or I may just have to spend hours off camera doing this and then come back to you when it's time to put the tape on. So yeah, next time you see me, I hopefully will have finished it. Okay, I'm back. It's a couple of days later now. The blades that I had were no good. I was just getting stressed out. It wasn't working. So I've been and got some new razor blades. I've got a little Stanley knife as well. And hopefully that'll be good enough to get it done. So I'm going to give it a go now. If it works, then I will show you. If it doesn't, I'm going to go and cry in a corner. I seem to have cracked it now. So what I do is I find the edge that it's going across. So this bit of glass sits on top of this, so you want to cut that way first. Okay, so go down in the corner, cut right across, and then repeat again the other way, being careful not to go too deep as to separate the glass. And then that bead there just pulls out. Ta-da! And then I use my loose razor blade just to scrape along the edges and get all the excess up. And this seems to be a method that works quite well. I've also bought these filling knives, and they seem to work quite well to run along the edge and scrape up the excess. and then it just pulls off. Nice and easy like that. Okay, so I've removed all of the silicone that I can. Most of it's come off really well. All I needed was the sharper razor blades. It's taken me about half an hour to get rid of it all, so I don't think that's too bad. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set you up and I'm going to put the tape on. And just quickly, I forgot to say, so before we put the tape on, we need to clean down the tank. You're supposed to use isopropyl alcohol, don't have any, so I'm going to use hand sanitizer. I hope it's alright. I'm not putting any fish in the tank for a while yet because it needs to cycle, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to get my cloth, I'm going to put some hand sanitizer on it, and I'm going to wipe it all down. That preps the surface then, so that we know it's not going to be slippy, there's no oil on it, and the sealant can grip to it, and yeah, then it won't slide off. Okay, so I've taped off all of the tank. We've now got our silicone here and the silicone gun. So all you do with this is you pull that. So this is still sealed at the moment. So you push that button there and that allows this to come back. When you squeeze it, it goes forwards and pushes that in there, which pushes it out the front. But first, what we want to do, so this is our tip here. Now you want to cut the end of that just a little bit smaller than the piece of beading that you want on the tank, and you also want to cut it at a slight angle. So I'm going to do that now. This might go wrong. If I lose a finger, I'm sorry. Hey, can you see what I've done there? So all we need to do now, cut the top off of this, screw this on, and then we can go ahead and start silicone in the tank. Once you've started, you have to be very fast. Once you've cut this off and screwed that on, you need to go and get on with it, because this, as soon as this hits the air, it starts to cure, and if it gets a film on it, then it'll be no good. So you need to squeeze it on, then rub it with your finger as fast as you can into the corners, and then once you've done that, you can pull the tape off and then you leave it for minimum 24 hours, I'd say. So let's crack on. Right guys, so that's the tank finished. Hopefully that will hold up. I don't think it looks awful. Now you can see I've made a bit of a mess. Turns out it goes a long way, and I used a lot more than I needed. Now a lot of the marks that you can see are actually scratches on the tank, as it is second hand. But yeah, I think overall that should do. Okay, so that's the finished result. I don't think I did too bad. I've made a bit of a mess with the silicone, but don't clean it up if you make a mess. Leave it till it dries, then just scrape it off with a fresh razor blade. If you try and do it now, you're going to make a right mess, and it's going to be even harder to get off. The blobs will come off so much easier just with a razor blade once they're dry. Like I say, 24 hours minimum before you put any water in, and I would suggest that you fill it up with water, leave it for 3 days before you decide to scape it or anything, because chances are that if it's going to leak, 3 days should give you long enough to determine whether it's got a leak or not. I've made the mistakes, so you don't have to. So top tips, use new sharp razor blades. Don't put too much silicone on because it makes a right mess. If you do make a mess, let it dry, then clean it off. Don't try and do it wet. In the next video, we're going to be scaping this tank. I've already got the hard scape and everything we need for it. The plants are in the aquarium that we did in the last video, so everything's ready to go. I just need to give this time to cure, then do a test run to check that it's not leaking, and then I can do that video for you. That video is going to be out at 12 PM next Friday. So make sure that you've liked and subscribed so you don't miss that. We've got a lot of good things coming up on the channel. First, we've got the scaping of this 4-foot tank. Then we've got the unboxing of the shrimp tank and the setting up of that. Then we've also got the pond to look at, and we've been given the go-ahead for a tour of the local fish store. So plenty coming up. You don't want to miss it. If you've liked what you've seen, then tune in and I will see you next week. Bye!